We are living in unprecedented times. The world is changing rapidly, and the foundations of our society are being shaken. But as Christians, we are called to stand firm in our faith, no matter what challenges we face. In the book of Hebrews, the apostle encourages us to fix our eyes on Jesus Christ, the author and perfecter of our faith. Hebrews 12 verse 2. The Bible warns us that the last days will be marked by increasing darkness and deception. We see this happening around us, as moral absolutes are being distorted. But we are not to be surprised or alarmed by these developments. Instead, we are to be prepared and vigilant, knowing that God is sovereign and in control. In these last days, spiritual discernment is crucial. We need to be able to distinguish between truth and error, between the light and darkness. As the Apostle John writes, "Do not believe every spirit, but test the spirit to see whether they are from God." 1 John 4 verse 1. But how do we develop this kind of unshakable faith? It begins with a deepening relationship with God through prayer, Bible study, and obedience. As the Apostle Paul writes, "I pray that out of his glorious riches he may strengthen you with power through his Spirit in your inner being." Ephesians 3 verse 16. As the church, we have a critical role to play in these last days. We are called to be a beacon of hope and light in a world that is increasingly dark and desperate. As Apostle Peter writes, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possessions, that you may declare the praise of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." 1 Peter 2 verse 9. But we must be prepared to persevere in the face of increasing opposition and persecution. As the Apostle Paul writes, "Everyone who wants to live a godly life will be persecuted." 2 Timothy 3 verse 12. But we are not to lose heart, because we know that our labor is not in vain. As the Apostle Paul writes, "For our lights and momentary troubles are achieving for use an eternal glory that far outweigh them." 2 Corinthians 4 verse 17. So what are we to do in these last days? We are to stand firm in our faith, to persevere in the face of opposition, and to proclaim the gospel to a world in need. As the Apostle Paul writes, "Preach the word, be prepared in season and out of season. Correct, rebuke, and encourage with great patience and careful instruction." 2 Timothy 4 verse 2. So let us stand firm, dear brothers and sisters. In these last days, let us proclaim the gospel to a world in need. May God's bless and strengthen you in these challenging times.